Hello, how you doing today? Welcome. My name is Brittney, and today we're gonna have some color fun. Okay, so we're gonna be doing a special technique I like to call "Wash My Tips." It's very simple, very easy, and self-explanatory. Okay, we're gonna be doing a all-over semi-permanent color, and we're gonna use two different tones. We're gonna use one for the base and the mid shaft, and then of course we're gonna use a different tone for the tips. So before we get started, we're going to make sure we have our tools, okay? So today we're going to be using Matrix Semi-Permanent Line, So Color Coat Line, and we have two shades. We have Lavender Macaron, and we have Disco Silver, okay? With the semi-permanent line, of course, we do not need a developer. So this will be a easy application. You want to make sure you have your bowl, your color bowl. I have two. You have your clips to section off. Okay, I love using butterfly clips. You have your brushes, and of course the comb. And we also going to make sure we have gloves and a timer. Okay? So, before we get started with the color, we want to section off our client. So first of all, we're going to drape her because we're doing a chemical. Welcome back. So making sure our client is properly draped is always first priority, okay? So we're going to get our client shampooed and ready to be colored. She was already shampooed prior to the service, and as y'all can see, she is already a level 9, okay? So we don't have to pre-lighten her, so we're just going to part her off and section her off, and then we're going to get ready for our color. Now, because this technique is so simple, I like to use just a basic 4-quadrant section. So you're going to part from the middle of the head to the back of the nape. I'm sorry, from the front of the head to the back of the nape. And then you're going to part off from the top of the ear to the next top of the ear. Okay? So we're going to part all the way down. I like to stick my finger where I'm going to the top of the ear. We're going to section that off. Section the back section, flip the back section off. And we're going to do the other side the exact same way. Alright. So, with doing semi-permanent color, you want to do it on dry hair. So like I said, she was already previously shampooed. We dried her out. She's already a level 9, so we don't have to worry about pre-lightening her. But you can use this color on a client that's pre-lightened, okay? So before we start having fun, just to let you know a little about this semi-permanent line. So, of course, it's a direct dye. It is aesthetic color, so you do not have to mix it with developer, okay? At all. Now, these are 4-ounce bottles. So, you want to always do a consultation and examine the hair so you can determine how much color you're going to use. So with these being 4-ounce bottles, of course we're not going to use the whole bottle on her head, okay? So I'm going to get half of each tone and put it in my bowl. So when I'm doing 2 tones, I personally like to use 2 separate bowls, only because although these tones are mixable, you can mix it to create a tone. If you know exactly what tone you want, you don't want to accidentally mix them. So I don't like to use the bowl with the double sides. I like to use two separate bowls so we don't accidentally mix our tones together. Okay? And we did not use the entire bottle. And y'all see how much color that is? That's a lot of color. It's going to go a very, very long way. So we're going to start with the back section. And we're going to start from the bottom. I'm sorry, she's moving. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up, okay? The reason why is because with this technique, we're going to leave like an inch on the tip free because that's where we're going to put our second tone. So we don't want the color overlapping, okay? So I'm pretty tall. So I want to make sure you all can see. Once I get done with my first section, then I will start my timer. This color processes up to 30 minutes, okay? So we're going to start our first section. I like to do thin sections. And we're going to start painting. You want to get a good firm hold on the hair. And you can either lay your hand under it, or if you have oil, you can use that as well. But you want to make sure you do thin sections because you want that hair, that color, to saturate that hair very, very well. Remember, I said we're going to leave an inch at the bottom free because we are going to put a second tone, okay? And you're just going to let that hair fall. Pull out your next section with her having short hair. And a lot of times I hold it to have control. You always want to have control of the hair to know what you're doing, okay? You don't need a lot of product. This is a very thick consistency product, so you don't need much. Little goes a long way, okay? Now remember I told you guys, this is the aesthetic color, meaning the pH is 4.5 to 6.9, which is very healthy for the hair. It's not as harsh as alkaline color or lighteners. And another good thing that's different about this line is infused with citric acid. Now, a lot of people don't understand that benefit. That benefit helps the color last up to 20 shampoos. It also helps seal the cuticle and keeps the hair smooth. And it also conditions the hair, which is very, very valuable when it comes down to color. Now, if you can see, as I'm applying, I'm just kind of gliding that color down with my hand, and I'm always leaving that inch on the bottom. And we're going to go back once we get done to make sure we haven't missed any spots. But remember, we are taking thin slices, okay? Thin slices. I say so thin you can read a newspaper through it. And you see how we're barely applying product. Barely. And that product is stretching. That's why I absolutely love this color. And I have a lot of fun doing vibrant tones. Now, when using this semi-line, you have to make sure the client's hair is at least a level 8, 9, or 10 if you want that nice, vibrant look. So, like I said, our client came pre-lighting. But if you have a client that's not pre-lighting, I definitely recommend you pre-lighting them before you apply the semi-permanent color line. Color coat line, I'm sorry. Now the fun thing about it is they have over 13 different shades, okay? So I gave y'all the two we're using today. Disco Silver and Lavender Macaron. Now my favorite tone that I use a lot on my hair personally is Red Hot. I absolutely love Red Hot. And then of course they have a black, they have a clear, they have I want to say it's Clover Green, they have a retro blue, they have a dusty teal, which is so beautiful. If you want a cute mermaid teal color, that is really, really cute. Really, really cute. They have a royal purple, which is my favorite. My favorite color is purple, so I absolutely love any purple, royal purple, lavender tone. I love it. Then they have and I don't want to mess this up because I always mess it up. Admiral Navy. I think I'm saying that right. But it's Admiral Navy. And then they have a Lucky Duck Yellow. A Flamenco Fuchsia. That's the last one. That's curious. The last one is Bubblegum Pink. So, out of all those tones, I'm pretty sure you all can come up with a great, vibrant canvas. Okay? And like I said, we're going to start our timer once we get to the end of this section, which is almost there. And we're going to apply this all around the head, okay? Now, before moving to your next tone, you always either want to change your gloves or clean your gloves. So we have some wipes. We're going to clean our gloves because you do not want those tones mixing. Remember, this is not an application where we want our tones to mix. So any color that we got on our gloves, we want to make sure we get all of it off before we apply the next tone. And we'll also want to make sure that our client's skin is free of color before we go to the next step, because we do not want to stain their skin, okay? So next, remember our tips is going to be lavender, macaron, and I'm sorry I'm saying that right, but it's going to be lavender, okay guys? So we're going to go through, you're going to start off with the section that you started with, and because we already sectioned our hair when putting our first toner on, only thing we're going to do is just use that same section and apply our lavender on the tips. Okay? We're going to apply the lavender on the tips. And it's okay to smudge it in. It's okay. You want that nice little blend. You want it to flow. See, that's coming out super cute. So we're going to take those nice sections. It's okay to smudge it in with the disco silver because you want a nice blend. So I just take my 2 fingers once I apply it on the ends and just smudge it in.
And you can go up past the inch, that's fine, because you want that color to blend together.
You want that color to blend together. Maybe I'll see at the top. I'm trying to take it a little higher, just so we can get a nice blend. Now after that, this beautiful color.
I'm so excited. I'm just super excited on how it's going to turn out. So we are going to let her process, and then we're going to go shampoo her with our color shampoo, our Glow Mania, and we're going to style her. So we'll be back.
Okay, so here we have it. Using a wonderful vegan formulated color line, Glow Mania shampoo and conditioner, and a little Food for Soft hair serum, we have a beautiful, soft, vibrant color. Can y'all see that body? No shedding, and it's super soft. So this is why I want to be a part of Matrix education team. Not only because Matrix have wonderful products, but because being a 5-year salon owner from Birmingham, Alabama, by way of Memphis, Tennessee, I'm ready for new beginnings. I'm ready to not only educate, but be educated and meet new people, and also learn new techniques and share my talent around the world and inspire other stylists to do the same. So thank you all for joining me, and don't forget, let your hair speak greatness. Bye-bye.